Welcome to the Motherhood Alliance podcast, the podcast dedicated to empowering moms and families on their health and wellness journey. I'm Brittany Suttner.
And I'm Andrea Rinkus. Together, we're here to explore holistic approaches that go beyond conventional medicine.
Each week, we dive into topics that matter most to you. Everything from nutrition and mental health to alternative therapies and natural living.
And whether you're a new mom navigating the early stages of parenthood or a seasoned pro looking for new ways to support your family's well-being, you're in the right place.
Even better, all of our guests are local small business owners who you can actually talk to and work with. You can learn more about today's guest and connect with hundreds of other health and wellness professionals through our informative and easy-to-use directory at motherhoodalliance.com.
Before we get started, keep in mind that this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for personal healthcare advice. Please consult your healthcare provider before making any changes based on the podcast content.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. Are you ready to help your family thrive? Let's get started. Hi, we are Britt and Drea from motherhoodalliance.com, and we are excited to welcome you to a 3-episode series with Bridget Dean, the owner of Beyond ABC and the only certified PlayWisely infant and child specialist in the state of Wisconsin. Located in De Pere, Wisconsin, Beyond ABC focuses on child developmental wellness classes for little ones ages birth to 5 years old and offers a safe and welcoming environment for both the parents and children to connect, learn, play, and thrive. Bridget has a passion for learning and playing with kiddos, overall childhood development, and helping parents, caregivers, and especially mamas navigate these early years of childhood. In her free time, Bridget loves to spend her time reading, skiing, golfing, and exploring new playgrounds with her 2 kiddos. Bridget radiates smiles, positive energy, and sunshine, and we know you're going to love her. So let's get started with today's conversation. Hey everyone, welcome to the Motherhood Alliance podcast. We are super excited to kick off this new series with Bridget. Welcome, Bridget.
Hi, thank you.
We are really excited to have you here, and we love what you're doing at Beyond ABC. And so we're going to be learning so much about what you offer there and the connections that you build and how you help parents of young kiddos. But before we do that, we always love to start out with a fun fact and learning a little bit about you. And yours is super fun. You have tried out for Survivor 3 times. So tell us about why you wanted to be on Survivor and even a little bit about what do you mean by trying out?
Yeah, so I am obsessed with Survivor. I was when I was younger. I watched it. It was like a weekly date with my parents. Had so much fun watching it. Thought it was such a cool challenge, like mentally, physically, emotionally, just like loved it. So when I became of age, I think it was 18, I wanted to try out. So I sent in a video and heard nothing back the first time. That was my first tryout. The second time I was living in Colorado and they had an in-person tryout.
Oh.
So yeah, it was really cool. I went and I had a minute to like kind of give my spiel on why I should be picked for Survivor. And I got a call back from that one, which was really cool. So then I had an interview with someone on the phone and then had to submit another video. And unfortunately, it didn't go any farther than that. Aww. So my dreams were crushed, but it was fun to try out. And again, it was my ultimate goal to be on there, but I've since moved on.
Oh, well, that's so fun though. I mean, you don't know unless you try.
No, exactly.
Right? Yeah. Well, then also you kind of jumped into something new and a new adventure when you bought a Beyond ABC many years ago. So I'd love to just hear a little bit about your journey into becoming the owner of Beyond ABC.
Yeah, I'm happy to tell that. And it kind of ties into Survivor, actually, if we want to talk about it. So like I said, I always wanted to be on Survivor. It's funny, growing up, I never knew, you get asked as a child, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I never knew. But my answer was always, I want to be a mom. And I knew I wanted to be a mom and how excited I was to become a mother and be a part of the motherhood journey. But didn't know, how I would get there eventually with my career and stuff. But so after I got married, I got pregnant and became a mom and was so excited about it. And, did all the things to prepare for birth and everything, as much as I could, knowing nothing, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. So got to the point of labor and it was all exciting and my labor took a long time and then was so excited, but then my son came out and I was exhausted and overwhelmed. And they laid him on my chest and I get emotional thinking about it because I didn't feel that immediate connection to my child that I thought I would feel.
Yeah.
It was all this anticipation of years and years of wanting to be a mom and preparing as much as I could. And then he's on my chest and I just didn't feel this overwhelming feeling that I thought I would feel.
What's wrong with me?
What's wrong with me?
I had the same experience.
Yes. And I felt so alone and so isolated in that moment of what's wrong with me and why am I not feeling this? So it was all overwhelming. And then you're in the hospital and they help take care of you, but then you leave in 2 days and they're like, okay, good luck. And you're like, wait, what? I take this child home? What am I supposed to do?
You're just letting me leave with this new
Yes.
thing? Like, oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can be prepared as you can be, but nothing prepares you for motherhood. So anyways, I became a mother and it was not what I thought it was going to be at first. It was so challenging. It was so overwhelming. Breastfeeding was very challenging for me and for my son. And we eventually figured it out. But then I went back to work full time and then figuring out daycare, and then COVID hit. And COVID, right? It was,
COVID.
Well, we didn't know COVID.
Well, we didn't know COVID. Yeah.
And then we do. And so I worked as a full-time stay-at-home mom while working full-time in my corporate job during COVID. So I had a 6-month-old, raising him full-time, working full-time in my corporate job. And then shortly after that, a couple months into COVID and doing all that, I got pregnant with my second child. So at that point, decided to work as a stay-at-home mom. So I was working as a stay-at-home mom, and how this ties into Beyond ABC is all of that was beautiful, amazing, wonderful, extremely exhausting, overwhelming. I didn't know what to do, right?
And lonely, especially during the COVID timeframe.
Yeah.
With little littles.
With littles. I had 2 under 2, raising 2 under 2 in COVID, working full-time as a stay-at-home mom and being isolated, right? You couldn't have family or friends, or you limited it, just we didn't know, right? So it was all overwhelming. So anyways, my younger son was about 9 months old, and my sisters called me and they're like, hey, our friend Angelina from high school started this business called Beyond ABC, and she's running parent-child classes. Like, you should go with your kids, get out of the house. They knew I needed to get out of the house, right? So I signed up for the classes. I was nervous to go. I hadn't really, been to any of the parent-child things, and there weren't really that many because it was kind of coming out of COVID. So I started going to the classes as, again, just a way to get out of the house. And right away, my sons took to the Play Wisely program, and they were captured by the cards and loved the motor skill section of it. And I was like, oh, there's something to this. This is really cool. And then for me, it was like, oh, okay, one, I have a reason to get out of the house, a good reason to put pants on and maybe throw a brush through my hair.
Right.
And some days I didn't, but it was a good reason to get out of the house. And once I got there, I started connecting with other moms. And I was like, oh gosh, I didn't even know how much I needed this, just to have a conversation. If nothing more than hey, what's your name? How old's your child? Oh, let me flex these skills again in my brain. I haven't talked to someone in a while.
Social skills that were lost.
Yes, exactly. And then to try and have my sons try and build those social skills from not being around kiddos in COVID, is limited to just our family members, really. So I started going to the classes, and then eventually Angelina was going to take on a teacher. And I was like, oh, this would be so cool. I would love to do that. I have my degree is in psychology and gender and women's studies. So I've always loved how people work and working with women and working with kids in particular. So I was going to become a teacher, but then during that time, her husband got a job in Texas. One thing led to another. She moved to Texas. I bought the business. I had no intentions of being a business owner, but here I am.
Well, but what a beautiful story. You can just totally see the plan coming to fruition and what this was meant for you, right? And so now you are the owner. You've been the owner for how long?
Coming up on 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you went into these classes, were you seeking more so the community connection for yourself, or were you more so seeking the brain development for your kids?
Well, I started as kind of, again, just a way to get out of the house and for me to connect, because that was so important, right? A well mama helps her child be well. And that was kind of my goal. It's I got to get myself feeling better and being more connected with the community so that I can help guide my children to feel more connected and involved in their community, right? And build those social emotional skills. So it started as that, but then with the Play Wisely program, I was like, oh my gosh, this brain development is so important for the kids, and this program so helps with that. I could see my kids, I could see their brain just exploding with these connections that they're making and the skills that they're building. So I knew that with the basis of the Play Wisely program, that Beyond ABC could continue to be successful, under my guide. But my goal was to add a little bit more to the business to try and fulfill that community connection, and particularly that motherhood connection that I was so missing in those early years. So with that, I developed these other programs that we can talk about.
Yeah, and we will be diving more in depth into some of those in other episodes, but can you just give us like a high level run through of what you offer at Beyond ABC? So when you're talking about different types of programs and different ways that moms can connect with other moms and kids can work on the developmental level, you have multiple different ways and offerings. So just walk us through those.
Yeah, so the first one would be the foundation of what I do is the Play Wisely child developmental wellness classes. So that's for kiddos 4 months old to 5 years old. So that's really focused on the child and working on brain and body, building brain and body confidence. But there's also the parent or caregiver connection moment to that too, because you're in a class with 4 to 5 other parents. So you have that opportunity to connect with them too. So it's really for the child, but there's kind of that bonus of the parent connection in it.
And it's such a small group that you can actually get to know each other. And then you do that one is a session, right? Where it's like a 6-week session.
Yep. So anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks is the session. It just depends on the time of year, but typically it's like a 6-week session. So yeah, you're with the same 4 to 5 kids and parents for those 5 weeks. So yeah, you can really develop that relationship. And a lot of, parents end up taking like the next session together too and continue. I have some parents who have been and kids who have been in session with each other for over a year now because they just continue to sign up. And it's really cool to see not only the child's development, because gosh, it's just incredible, but then the parents kind of gaining that relationship with each other too. And some have gone off and done their own play dates and stuff. And that's so cool to see.
Well, and I feel like it's less intimidating. Like you were saying on your story, when you're kind of coming out of your shell and you hadn't really been attending in-person things because they really weren't available when your kids were teeny tiny. When you were finally willing to step out and do that, it can be really intimidating for a lot of women specifically. And so knowing it's only 4 or 5 families, that feels like a little bit easier to walk into than some like big social at a park, right?
Yes, exactly. And for the kids too, I know that a lot of times this is a child's first time in a class with other kids, right? Because it's before, kindergarten or preschool. So unless they've been in daycare, they maybe haven't been around other kids too. So it's definitely less intimidating for the child too, to just be with 3 or 4 other kids.
Something I love about your classes, or just thinking about your classes, not only about the mom connection, but like me, if I had my little kids going there, I know that I'm not just guessing on what they're like how to help them develop. Like, obviously there's things that you do at home naturally, but like when you have somebody like you guiding them or teaching us, the moms, how to work with them and develop their brains in a strategic way, I love that. I think that's just so cool.
Yeah, and the program, and we'll talk about that in a later episode, but the program is, it's based in science and academia and sport, and so it is a purposeful play program, but to the child, it's just play. But yeah, as a parent, it gives you lots of things that you can do at home
I love that.
And things that you can play with. So the Play Wisely program is the foundation of what we do at Beyond ABC and the meat of our classes. But we also have these other fun classes, like we do open gym. So it's just we put all the fine and gross motor toys out, and kiddos can come and run around and have a good time, and parents and caregivers can chat and connect with each other and have that community connection time. So we have open gyms. We just started a Tiny Toons music therapy class, which is amazing. So bringing in that musical element to development. And we have our Tiny Dancers Baby Wearing Dance class, which is such a special class. It's for parents and caregivers, but we've only ever had moms. And it really has just turned into a special thing for moms. But it's for moms and babies 15 months and younger, where they come in, they're wearing their baby, and we move and groove to fun music and have that community connection time and release those endorphins through dance, which is so fun. And then we also have Baby and Me play dates. So that is focused on 12 months and younger. So again, really trying to target this first year of life for babies and for moms, because your baby's growing so much, the mom is growing so much, there's so much change happening. So trying to focus on that group. So the Baby and Me play date, again, is a free play, but I usually bring in other local experts to help guide moms. And those Baby and Me play dates are always free. So it's a great opportunity for moms to come in, meet other people. And it's really cool because we've had, since it's for 0 to 12 months old, I've had so many moms come in who walk in and they're like, this is my first time out of the house. I'm not really sure what to do. And I'm like, welcome, come on in. Like, I'll introduce you to someone, or like, let me help guide you in this way. And like, I try, and now that I've been doing this for almost 2 years, I've gotten to know there's, some regular moms who come, and I get to know a little bit about them, and I can help kind of like matchmake as far as friendships go, which has been really cool.
I feel like we can relate a lot to this in our own way. Cause like just a little bit about my backstory too is when I got pregnant, I didn't have a clue what I was doing either. And this was 11 years ago, almost 12 years ago. And so I had, so when I had my kiddo, I didn't have anybody to talk to. I was very lonely. So I can relate very much to what you were talking about. I wasn't in COVID, thankfully. So I did have more opportunities to get my kiddo out. But even then it was still like struggle, right? And so that connection with other moms, that's why we started our other business, Fit Mom, really is part of it, is because I needed that connection. And the way that I found that I could connect with people is through fitness, right? And so we brought our passion of prenatal and postpartum fitness to the masses. And that's how we helped connect. And it was so fun to see other moms connect with like play dates and stuff afterwards. And I mean, we still have people that are still, together.
Lifelong friends.
Yeah.
And I just want to stay on that topic for a second, because I do think that this is a real thing. Even though we are years past COVID now, there are still a lot of women who want to make friends. They might consider themselves an introvert, or they might feel paralyzed socially when it comes to trying a new class and putting herself out there to start a conversation. Obviously, coming to a Beyond ABC class would be amazing for a first step. But let's say that they have a kiddo that's over 5 years. What would you just say as encouragement to a mom who is feeling this, like, I get so nervous just like going up to a mom at a park and saying hi? How can they overcome that?
Okay, I'm going to give you advice that my 5-year-old just gave me on the way to this podcast.
Oh, look at that.
I told him, I was like, I'm going to record this podcast for work, and I'm a little nervous. What do you think I should do to help me feel less nervous? And he's 5 years old, and we've been working on a lot of emotions with him. He's a highly sensitive child. So we've been working on this, and this was just a very proud moment, but great advice. He goes, Mom, let's take a deep breath. So we took a deep breath, and he goes, now let's say, I can do this 5 times. So we took a deep breath and we said, I can do this. And we repeated it 5 times. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And by the end, I'm sobbing.
Oh my gosh, I feel like sobbing now.
It was so beautiful. But that's the advice I would give to a new mom. You can do this. Yeah. I know it's overwhelming. I know you're exhausted. And it's maybe the last thing you want to do. But ultimately, if we want to give our children a good chance at making friends and getting out in the community and being connected with others, which is what being a human is all about, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Connecting with ourselves, connecting with others. So take a deep breath. I can do this. That's the advice I'd give.
Oh my gosh, I
all
love
coming
that.
from a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
I love it.
From the mouth of babes, right?
Yeah, that is so sweet. We've talked a lot about how community connection is so important for moms. What would you say from your experience watching kids in this community environment on how important it is for kids to be able to have opportunities to socialize with each other and learn from each other, especially during this 0 to 5 time frame?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so important. And what's cool about the Play Wisely classes is, again, it's not so intimidating because it is a smaller group, but kids learn through observation, right? Before a child can verbalize and say something out loud, they're already communicating, right? Through facial expressions. It's universal emotions, facial expressions. So they're communicating through that. So like to give that child that opportunity to communicate is what's going to build those connections and build that rapport with others before they can even verbalize. Mm-hmm. So to kind of go back to the other question though, like with kids too, but with parents, that vulnerability piece is so important. And I know it's hard and it can feel uncomfortable to just be like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, or hey, I'm really uncomfortable in this moment. But like anytime I've done that at Beyond ABC, like I can tell a mom's feeling nervous and I go up to them just like, hey, I'm nervous too.
Yeah.
Or I remember what it was like.
The relatability. Oh my gosh.
That's so important. And like, that's how you be real, right? And that's what's going to make you feel connected to someone, is that vulnerability. So if you can just say like, hey, yeah, I struggled in my postpartum too. I had a lot of anxieties. I had intrusive thoughts. It makes people feel less alone because you can relate to them. And that's like the whole goal at Beyond ABC, is to help those connections. But that happens with the kids too. Except they're just doing it non-verbally a lot of times. And then once they can start to communicate, of course, they can try and say something too, but they work through their action.
And you see such a wide range. I mean, I think about how much a kiddo changes from 4 months old to 5 years old. So just really quick here, how are your classes broken up? Do you have different sessions for different age groups? Just so that a parent listening, if they're like, well, I have a 2-year-old, am I going to be in a class with a 5-year-old and a 6-month-old? Because a lot of times people are connecting. They really want to build friendships with kids that are similar ages too. So tell us a little bit about how your classes are set up.
Yeah, so our classes are broken down by age range. So the babies class is 4 months old to 12 months old. So obviously that's a big range as far as development, because the first year of life, there's so much development that happens. But it's cool because like the 4-month-old maybe is just starting to sit up, but then the 9-month-old maybe is, starting to crawl a little bit. So they can observe that happening in each other. So that's the first range. And then toddler 1 would be 12 to 18 months old. Then toddler 2 is 18 months to 2.5 years old. And then toddler 3 is 2.5 to 5 years old. But then I do also have mixed age classes. So that would be good for siblings, or if there's, mom friends or parents who want to be in the same class, but their kids aren't quite in the same developmental age, they can be in the mixed ages class too. And those classes are amazing too, because the older toddlers can kind of be leaders for the younger ones, and they can show different more complicated parts of the activities we're doing, and the little ones can observe that. And they really kind of build those leadership skills, which is really cool. And then the younger ones learn from the older ones.
Yeah. Awesome.
I love this conversation so much because I think that we live in an age right now where we all are so connected. And I think people talk about this all the time, especially with social media, things like that. We've never been more connected, but we've also never been more lonely and more isolated. And so what you're doing is really, for the kiddos, starting them at the very earliest ages, teaching them how humanity and connection with other humans is so important. And then with the moms, you're bringing hope and life back to them because they're able to connect and have people that they can relate to. So I think you're doing is absolutely beautiful. Now, if I'm correct here, I think that you offer a free PlayWisely class to a mom who has never attended before. Is that right?
Yes, correct. Your first class is always free. So just contact me directly and then we'll get you set up so you can really experience the class before you. I know it's an investment and you want to do your best for your child and try before you buy. I'm happy to do that for someone.
Great. And then for anyone who has attended or goes for your first time and then wants to join a series, I know that Bridget is offering 10% off anyone who heard about her through Motherhood Alliance. And the code for that is Motherhood Alliance 10. So you can reach out to her, let her know that you heard about her through us, and she'll be happy to honor that for you. If someone wants to get in contact with you or look up your classes or anything else, what's the best way to learn about you?
So our website is www.beyondabc.co. So I have all the information on the website. You can see more descriptions about our classes. There's pictures and videos from our classes, and then that's our registration as well. We're also on Instagram at beyondabc.co, and then on our Facebook at beyondabc.
Great. So many ways. I mean, I think that sounds so fun. Go check out those videos, see what Bridget is doing. You can even learn a little bit about the Play Wisely method by going and checking out her resources. We do have 2 more episodes coming up. The next one, we're going to be diving a little bit more into like actual brain development and the science behind what she's doing at Beyond ABC. So I think that's, if you're looking for just some tips and information about how to really help your child thrive in those younger years, that episode is going to be for you. And then in our 3rd episode together, we're going to be bringing on a bonus guest, Jessica. She is the one that helps at Beyond ABC with the music therapy, and we're going to be diving into what music therapy is and how it can help your child's development. So we have 2 more great episodes coming up. If you enjoyed this episode, would you consider leaving a rating or review or sharing it directly with a friend who could benefit from the information? We know that you're a busy mom or caregiver, and our goal is to make your life easier by bringing tips and tricks directly from experts into your earbuds. By sharing this episode with someone you love, you can play a critical role in helping to make their life easier as well. We appreciate your time and thank you for being a part of the Motherhood Alliance family.